Hi guys, welcome to the Starting 11 show with myself, Michelle, an Arsenal fan, and with Tabrice, a Liverpool fan. Obviously, quite happy. We're both happy, actually. To be fair, we're all winners this weekend. We're two people down today due to sickness. Obviously, we're into that season now, so yeah, COVID is rife, the flu is rife, but we are still here. How are you feeling, Tabrice?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Liverpool winning. Against a very strong Man City team. But I'm guessing that we're going to go into that. But yeah, I'm all right. I'm good.
Good. I like to be mentioned. I'm going to mention that Arsenal is still top of the league, guys. I feel like, do you know what? I just need to keep repeating it because who knows when that's going to change. But as in, we'll go into it as well when we talk about the Arsenal game because we're very lucky to win. So on to your favourite topic to brief. Liverpool winning.
Oh, wow. So I want to say to like any Liverpool fans on that's heard me speak, I'm sorry, because I said that Man City were going to win. I actually said that Man City were going to win.
You lost faith in your own team. Wow.
We've not been playing well. We have struggled for form, trying to work out a new formation. Salah's not been hitting the heights recently, defensive walls as well. And when you kind of look at the starting 11, Milner at right back, it's like, oh, wow, it's going to be one of those long afternoons where like we would just have to really just shut up shop. And we like defended really well. And just kind of getting, even when we scored that goal, I was like, okay, Man City will literally still create 2 or 3 chances. And like they had chances in the game, let's be real. But I'm just relieved, like more so than excited. Because again, that could have gone left real quick.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because actually I think in the midst of their dip in form, we all forgot about their home record. I think I genuinely forgot until I saw a post about Van Dijk's never, and I was just like, gosh, I completely forgot about that. And actually, I think we we're still very early into the season, and I think people were just shocked at how slow Liverpool started, and there was no real standout performances from anyone. But yesterday, like obviously Salah scored, Gomez actually looked half decent.
I mean, I'm not going to say Gomez for England, but right now,
let's
okay.
To be fair to you, the injury list for England is growing, so by default he might be in there. But let's chill a little bit.
Yeah, Gomez has literally come out of the wilderness, and he's kind of playing to a level that a lot of Liverpool fans knew he could, play to. And from right back, and then last minute change to centre back, strong in the tackle, physical. He read the game well. It's going to be very interesting when we have Kanate back and also Matip. To see how Gomez now responds to that, and of course Trent coming on in the last minute as well. That's a plus, I guess. But but yeah. Gomez has just been immense, absolutely immense.
So actually, I want to ask you a question because it's interesting because I speak to quite a lot of Liverpool fans, and a lot of them are like, Thiago is like, your centerpiece. Like when he's on form, like, Liverpool are flying, or when he was injured for that period of time, you guys were missing him. But personally, maybe it's because I don't support Liverpool, but I don't see it. Do you agree? I don't. I'm in two minds. I just don't know where these Liverpool fans are getting gassed over here. Because go on. You spoke about this before. Go on.
Yes. So to be honest, when like Liverpool signed him, I wasn't excited. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, okay, Thiago, great pass of the ball, injury prone. Are we really gonna get the best out of him in terms of how Klopp likes to play? He's had some outstanding games, especially against Man City. Actually, he kind of makes Liverpool play a different style of football. It's not all gun ho. He kind of like he kind of likes to get the ball down, and it's kind of very rare that he loses the ball. However, he can't tackle. Like we all see that. Defensively, is he sound? Not really, but that's not why we brought him to the club. Yes, when he's not playing, now it seems like we are lost in the midfield. But I think you still need runners around him. He's like not going to sprint back, consistently to literally help out either like the back four or like one of like the fullbacks. But he's a kind of good addition, and when he's on form, he's absolutely class.
Great. Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually with Liverpool. Do you think they've turned a corner now? I mean, Man City. Everyone's talking about Man City running away with the league, right? So surely they've won. 1-0. Granted, it was at home, Anfield. Are they back in the top 4 race? I want to get you on camera and record it. We'll come back to this comment at the end of the season.
It's only one game. It's only one game. I think still Liverpool still have a lot to do. Of course, the injury to Jota looks bad. Diaz as well. So now our and of course defensively as well. We are playing Milner at right back. So that defensively we're not as strong as we would like. So the jury is still out. Do I think we're going to get the top? Get the top 4? No.
Oh wow. Okay. Fair.
No.
Do you know what? I agree with you, because let's be honest.
Well, of course you would agree. Of course you would agree with me.
Listen to my rationale about the game. So the reason why I agree with you, because the goal came from a schoolboy, schoolgirl era. Like, Cancelo got turned like hard. And do you know what? I've been turned when I played defense in my uni football team. And I remember that, because when you get too tight and they spin you like that and you're chasing, all I can remember, and Cancelo probably felt the same way, is the footsteps. When you're running, those footsteps get louder and louder, because this is going to be a goal. And actually, you have to give props to Alisson. Like, that was, to be fair, that was Ederson-esque, actually, because he used to do that quite a lot. Those are like, straight over the top through balls, that assist. It was actually amazing. Like, Alisson, I feel like he actually probably made that goal more so than Salah. But happy for Salah to get back on the score sheet. But ultimately, it was a Man City error. So it wasn't like you got, to be fair, you played well. I'm not going to lie. Liverpool actually looked good, but it came from a Man City error. And as you said, there was any point, there was obviously a goal that was ruled out, but any point Man City can just turn around and score. So like, you guys did well, but it did come from Man City mistake.
Yeah, it's true, and I think with the ability that everyone has, De Bruyne, you're looking at Haaland, you're looking at Thiago, you're looking at ball playing players, and it was just a route one ball. It was just route one, and again, goals win games, possession doesn't, and sometimes managers from the elite to non-league and even grassroots still want to play this ticket, this kind of possession-based football. Just get the ball into the opposition half and then work from there. And that's what Salah did, and it was again, he had a lot of time to actually steady himself, and sometimes as a striker, a lot of thoughts because he missed something similar a few minutes before, I believe. So that might have been playing on his mind, but again, great finish.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing to see it. So let's talk about Klopp sending off, because personally, you know what? We never agree with all refs' calls. Like, it is the human nature of the game. And at that point, obviously, Liverpool winning. Like, I know Salah is, a precious player. He's had injury problems throughout the squad. So I get it was quite a heated moment for him. He's like, I don't want to lose another player to a rash challenge. But personally, I thought better of Klopp at that moment. I just think he needs to keep his emotions in check. Like, take the win, take the performance, but I just think it's a shame that's kind of part of the story, the narrative that's post the game. You can't even take the win as, I mean, obviously, of course, Liverpool fans are going to take the win as a great victory, but majority of the news outlets are going to be talking about Klopp sending off, right? So I don't know how you feel about that as a Liverpool fan, or you're just like, that's just Klopp. He's always hyping it, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially at home, I think Arteta said it a couple of times. Anfield is the only place where he hates playing. Like, the crowd And like when like Liverpool are playing, and when that
Never,
crowd are on top of you, your
yeah,
emotions grow. And hey, we were winning 1-0, like he's seen one of his best players get fouled. The closest person next to him was the second assistant,
yeah,
and he got swept with the whole emotion. Do I think he deserved to be sent off? 100%, because
yeah,
it's all about respecting the officials. But I mean, again, sometimes a lot of fans will actually see that and say, you know what, at least Klopp feels our pain, and literally
yeah.
Klopp is one of us, rather than just standing quiet, silently, or like quite just I'm not be emotionless. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah. It
just kind
shows
of,
it shows he
yeah,
cares, right?
yes,
Ultimately,
yeah,
like,
100%.
because we get annoyed, we sit there and shout at the screen. We're in the stadium, we'll shout at the refs as well. But it just shows that he is part of the community as well. I just thought it was a bit of a shame. I just think because the fact that you guys, it's for you turning a corner. You guys are winning 1-0 at the time. I was a bit like, oh, come on, Klopp. Like, let's keep it in check for a bit, just for the team, because actually, like, that could have caused the guys to lose their heads a little bit. Do you know what I mean? You just never know the psychological effects of like your manager going to go off. And obviously, we'll see it in the games to come, which he won't be on the sideline. But fair play to Liverpool. Do you think this was a kind of like warning sign about City in terms of like their dip in form, or the fact that they can be beaten?
I think any team can be beaten. I think for Arsenal fans, I've seen all of the memes. We are the only team to go the whole season unbeaten. So literally, I think that's a big sigh of relief to all the kind of Arsenal faithful. I still think Manchester City are like favourites, and again, I don't think they're going to lose more than 3 games. And no, they like still in pole position for me.
Yeah, definitely. And as you say, like any team can be beaten on their day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Let's go on to my favorite. The team that are currently top of the league, only beaten once this season by Man United, but no one cares about Man United anyway. But Arsenal. To be fair, I'm gassing them up now because I'm going to rip them apart for this game, because
Oh wow.
Honestly, I'll be honest, we didn't deserve to win that game.
Really?
No, didn't deserve to win it. Do you know what? There were so many elements of the old Arsenal in that game. Like, we were giving away passes or making mistakes. It was a lack of concentration on many, many counts. And actually, if Leeds if Bamford probably came on earlier, I reckon it would have been easily a draw, or we would have lost that game. Like, towards the end, we were scrambling. Like, if that, I don't know. It was a weird game. Ultimately, great that Arsenal managed to mental concentration, held on to the win. Because actually, to be fair, if this was last season, that would never have happened. But it was quite scary to watch. And all I'm going to say is thank the Lord that the Man City game is cancelled, because they would have, after that performance yesterday, we would have been hammered like 6-0 easily. I don't know if you agree. I mean, this is me being harsh to Arsenal, but I think because of now, we've stepped to a whole new realm. We're top 4 securely, head of the league. Like, I feel like I can actually be a bit more critical.
Okay.
I can basically go back to the invincible days, Let's go back then. I'm joking. Let me not just get too gassed. Yeah, I just think that it was a terrible game yesterday. Like, I went back to me watching Arsenal, like I was watching the notifications before watching the game, because I was like a couple of minutes behind. So I was literally just like, gosh, have they scored? But for me, it was nervy, which is, I've not felt that way this whole season. Even when we're playing Man United, and like, I didn't feel nervy about that game. And actually, when we lost it, I was a bit like, no, fair play. They were just better than us. But yesterday, Leeds, it was worrying to watch. Not gonna lie.
And like, was it because of Bamford's movement, or was it because of the delay with the VAR?
The power cut. Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I want to blame on the power cut, but really and truly, like, it was half an hour, right? So, like, I think for me, it was it was just a lack of concentration for the players. Like Saliba owes Ramsdale his first one shot, because he literally put his balls on the line to save that Bamford first chance. Like, literally, I felt so sorry for him. I was just like, Ramsdale's played well, and literally Saliba's making his mistakes and causing him pain. And obviously then he did enough to put Bradford off for the penalty as well. So Saliba didn't have a great game, not going to lie. But I think obviously he's had some good games, had some bad games. He's still setting to the team. But I do think it was mainly Arsenal, because I think actually Leeds played well, actually. And I think, as I said, if Bradford came on earlier, he would have 100% scored. I think when he came on, he changed the game initially. I think they were more attacking. And they looked threatening as well. But I think with Arsenal, they caused their own problems. Like everything that happened, that there was an incident in terms of like, you know, the Bamford chance or the penalty, or like, you know, at the end where, you know, Gabriel, I mean, what that mess was at the end, I do not know. But it was all caused by Arsenal. So like, at least that's something to take away, that we can fix that issue. But it was still worrying to see that element still come in. But yeah, I don't know whether I mean it was away, so that might have had an effect too. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy that game, considering obviously that we're top. I think I enjoyed the fact that Man City lost and then we were top of the league more so than actually that game, because that game was the Arsenal of last season, which I thought we'd got past it.
Well, I mean, how I see it, if it was the Arsenal of last season, you would have lost. So if you've like played crap and won and kept a clean sheet, and then that's the true grit of champions, playing absolutely horrid but still getting a result. So I think it was a good result, and I think Ramsdale is like looking like I mean he's like looking like a steal. I think Saliba, hopefully, you know, actually, do you think Saliba is like the best centre back in the Prem? Because like a lot, you know, I've heard a lot of chat.
Yeah, I think that's a big statement. It's too early to say. I think like he's been relatively consistent, but as I said yesterday, like his mistakes almost cost us, and that's not the first time he's done that as well. So like for me, I just think that's quite a big statement to stay so early on. But do you know what? He's still new to the Premier League. I think he's got potential to be, definitely, but I just think it's too early to say now.
Okay.
That's my point. I just wanted to shout FSS because, to be fair, Arsenal does a magic. Do you know what? Leeds tried it first, though. Let's not lie, with the power cut. But you know, I have to give Drake props, didn't he? He put a bet on Arsenal. They came through the curse. I'm joking, but to be fair, as you said, like the Arsenal of last season probably would have lost that game, and I actually agree with you. So, do you know what? Fair play. It's about time someone was on our side, you know.
So now being 4 points clear now, what's your expectations for Arsenal this season?
Okay. I mean, I'm not getting excited because actually I do.
Don't lie. Yes, you are.
No, because
you're lying.
No. Do you know why? Because as an Arsenal fan, it's like the relationship is quite, you know, abusive. Let's not lie. Every time you get excited, they come and just destroy that dream. Last season, we were so on course to get top 4, and look what happened. So I can't get gassed. I literally can't get gassed. The only thing my expectation for Arsenal is top 4. That is it. The reason why I say that, because I do think, and I think I talked to Vinny about this earlier today, is I do think that the test will be Chelsea this season. Just because, right? I think with Chelsea, Arsenal, there's always history there. Also, I do think with Aubameyang playing for Chelsea now, again, mental strength, see if that comes through. I think the Liverpool game, I mean, I'm glad we won, but like, as we said, Liverpool, like, their form wasn't there. So I think a lot of people did predict that it would either be a draw or a win for Arsenal. But I do think with Chelsea, and obviously we'll get onto the Chelsea game next, but where they're at in terms of their free throwing, attacking, pressing, I think at the moment they look quite solid, and I think they will give us. They'll give us a good game essentially, but I think that will be the test. Once we play Chelsea, I'll give you an actual number. But now I'm just going to say top 4. I think top 4 is definitely doable, because I think you can't really call the top 4 at the moment. You can't. Like, I think at the moment, even you said that, you know, Liverpool not top 4. I'm just like, well, you never know actually, because they could come into form towards the end of the season. You have to remember, obviously, you've got the World Cup in the middle of the season, which is unprecedented, right? No one knows what the hell that's going to do. It might help some teams. I feel like it will help Arsenal because we could go out in Jan and buy. But I think actually in other teams it might hinder them. Obviously, if they're in a run of form, what does it do? So, yeah, it's a hard one to call, but I definitely think Chelsea's going to be the game. If we beat them in Stamford Bridge, you know what? I will be gassed. I'll be like, we're winning the league. We're winning the league. Because to be fair, Man City, I mean, let me, jokes aside, Man City, I think they're the ones to beat, right? But I think if Arsenal to lose Man City, I don't think that would really show us anything. I think like Man City, you're either going to beat them, you're not. Like, I think it's very clear as soon as that game starts, like what's going to happen. But I think Chelsea, in terms of like the current form that they're at, I think that'll be the true test. And mentally as well, because I think Arsenal have always been accused of not having that mental strength.
Yeah.
I think they're obviously showing it now, obviously the games that they're kind of pulling through. But I think with Chelsea, it's got so many opportunities to crumble at certain points. So we shall see. We shall see.
And before you move on, I would love to get your POV regarding what Aubameyang said about Arteta. Yeah.
Do you know what? To be fair, Aubameyang, I mean, Aubameyang shouldn't. Just move on, innit? It happened. You know, you left. Move on. I feel like now, Aubameyang left himself open to be exposed, because we all knew that there was more to that story than the documentary let on, everyone else let on. We all heard rumors there was a tattoos, but the way Arteta has basically just shut it down. He's just shut him down in that respect. And I just think it's getting to the point where we're like, it's getting a bit tit for tat. I just don't think it's hard, because actually we can see the fruits of Arteta's labor, right? Like, even when Aubameyang was in the team and he wasn't playing, we were actually playing better without him. Yeah. I think we had that juxtaposition, the fact that he was captain, we need to keep him on. If you notice with Chelsea, he'll get subbed on or subbed off quite willy-nilly. Like, Potter hasn't got any kind of ties with Aubameyang in terms of his stature, his status, his ego, whatever it might be. Potter's actually doing it for the team, right? Whereas I think with Arsenal, Arteta and Aubameyang, he was captain. We did a whole big reveal when he signed a new contract. Like, literally, it was to the detriment of Arsenal with him playing full 90 minutes and not doing anything. Even when he was blowing, he was tired. Like, we kept him on because he is captain. So I think with that, like, Aubameyang has to just admit that, what Arteta's decision has been beneficial for Arsenal. We're top of the league, right? We can't deny that. I just think, talk about strong mentality, etc. I think you have to respect the manager, right? And that's clear that Aubameyang did not respect Arteta. That is the bottom line. Hence why he thought, he could come out and say it actually quite publicly in terms of his thoughts about him. But he's the manager. Like, you can't, like, mental strength. I think that's quite hard. Like, Arteta was one of the youngest managers in the league. To come to Arsenal and manage that club after Arsene Wenger, after Unai Emery, that's a big ask. You have to have that mental strength. Plus, let's not forget, he worked with Pep for so many years. There's so much he's learned from that situation as well. So I don't know. I thought Aubameyang's comments were harsh. I think Arteta's ones are even harsher. But I'll back my manager in it. He said what he said. So fair play to him. It'll be interesting to see how Aubameyang does at Chelsea in the long term. Obviously, Barcelona, that Barcelona transfer was obviously just to offload him. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he settles in with Chelsea, with Potter's kind of regime, and whether that ego comes out again. Personally, sorry, that was a very long monologue.
No, I love that. I love that.
Basically, say, Aubameyang, you're dead to me. You're dead to me, mate. You're dead. Oh, never mind. It happens. I don't know if you had any thoughts on it.
I have no thoughts at all.
Zero. Wow.
Zero. I'm not my player.
You're like, don't care about him. Fair. No, that's fair. Well, speaking of teams that no one really cares about, Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 0. Gerrard, what's going on? He's your boy, isn't he?
Gosh. Yeah. You know what? At this present moment, I don't want him close to Anfield at all. He's kind of got a squad, and I believe he's got the backing of the owners, the money that he spent. And it's, yeah, you know what? Defensive mistakes. I mean, the first goal, you know what? I'm a centre back, so things like that can happen so quickly. So, you know, literally, I'm not gonna get on Mings's case Tyrone's. I'm not gonna get in this case because it's all about the team. They created chances, you know. Kepa for me was man of the match.
Kepa, do you know what? Can we just give a shout out to Billy, because I cussed him hard when he was just like, I want Kepa back in goal, because I was just like, he's mad. But do you know what? He had a fantastic game. Like, my mouth was open watching that game, because I was literally just like, I didn't know he still had it in him. We saw glimpses, but he had an incredible game. The game the scoreline would be very different if he didn't have a game that he had. Like, you're right, he was man of the match. I think he was probably like player of the weekend, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so, because literally that was a heroic performance.
Yeah,
but yeah, Aston Villa not starting Coutinho, then that there's something wrong if your marquee signing is not starting. Again, the relationship between Coutinho and Gerrard, purely that Liverpool link. You think, okay, come and play for me. It'd be like it'd be almost like you're playing for like Liverpool, but no way, no, we can definitely shut
really
that down. I'm fearful for his job. I can't really see him surviving until the end of the season, even though, if you're kind of looking at the glass half full, they did have a lot of chances, and again, the Kepa was man of the match. But again, Chelsea and Potter, they are kind of plodding along nicely. Mason Mount with the 2 goals. Yeah.
Do you know what? Mason Mount, it's like he's been reborn again. I mean, I still don't really understand what happened with Tuchel. I don't know whether it was, for position, formation. I don't know what it was, but Mason Mount is basically the guy that we saw, 3 seasons ago. It's mental. And you can see he's enjoying playing again. And it makes such a difference, right? In terms of I mean, we didn't talk about it before, but Jesus, he obviously played Man City, played for Arsenal. He looks like he's enjoying football. And I don't know. I think I sometimes forget how much of an impact that has on a player. Massively. Mount, I don't know. It's actually crazy to see that free kick was amazing. You have to give him props for it. And he's literally coming to his own. And I think I don't know, should I say he enjoys playing for English managers? Not that he's racist. I'm just putting it out there that maybe I don't know, maybe they just understand him. I don't know what it is, but he just seems like a completely different beast under Potter, which is, do you know what? Credit to Potter though, because actually, again, that's someone that literally got thrown in the deep end and is pulling out results. And that's literally in the Premier League and the Champions League. So, not that I doubted Potter, I just didn't know with the egos, the personalities in the dressing room, what he can do, and then could he actually gel the team together? Because obviously there was some unrest with the team, but generally he's done really well. Thiago Silva looks like he's 27. He's do you know what a signing he was for Chelsea? Imagine when you get people at that stage, you're just like, yeah, they'll stay for 1 season, do a few bits and then leave, sell a few shirts and they'll be fine. But he's actually been amazing. So do you know what? Fair play. I hate to say it. I mean, me as an Arsenal fan, Chelsea is we all hate Chelsea, but they're looking good. Hence why I said before, they will be the team that I can really see where Arsenal will land.
Okay.
Just because they look good at the moment. They look
and
good.
I think, we don't know a lot about Potter, but he seems like he kind of wants to give everyone a fair crack of the whip. Doesn't matter. Again, we are now seeing Gallagher now getting a lot of minutes now. We're seeing Chalobah. I know that he was kind of getting a few minutes under Tuchel, but he kind of looks like he's a favorite. Kepa's come, and literally Kepa's come in as well. So Potter's not afraid to change stuff, and I think the players react to that and literally respect that as well. And I think Potter, fair play to him. He's he could have easily turned down that opportunity and said, you know what, I'm going to stay at Brighton. it's literally a job for life. But he's like, no, you know what? This is literally what I want to do, and he's doing it well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm intrigued to see how, because Sterling obviously before he got there was the main man, scoring quite a few goals. Slightly dropped off. I don't know if that's fair to say. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with Sterling under the Potter regime.
Oh gosh, Sterling. So Sterling. So I've always said with players like Sterling that literally rely on their pace to kind of get away from defenders. Once you lose a bit of yard of pace, what else have you got? And it's exactly what happened to Sean Wright Phillips. The moment he lost it, the moment you lose that bit of pace, and as a winger, and how the Premiership is now, what else can you bring to the table? I'm not saying that he's lost it, but he's not. Oh, of course, it's kind of under a new regime. Like it's not the Sterling from Man City.
Yeah.
But he's still got a lot of quality. And I can imagine all of them are still learning different methods from like Potter and his team and his kind of backroom staff. And I think Chelsea are going to be thereabouts. And you know what? You are right. I think Chelsea will definitely be the yardstick to a lot of teams looking to get into that top four.
Yeah, no, definitely. I noticed you did mention too. Obviously, you mentioned Sterling and Sean Wright Phillips, Man City players. I don't know if it's another slide dig, the fact that you beat them this weekend, but it's fine.
No. I didn't even realize.
Subliminal message. I see you. But yeah, you know what? I'm a fan of Sterling, though. To be fair, I did think he might come to Arsenal at one point. Yeah. I think if we did actually make Champions League football, I think he might have considered it. Personally, because I think him and Arteta as well had quite a good relationship in terms of Arteta was quite good at coaching him one-on-one. I think I saw that with their kind of documentary. So he's the one. I'd say Sterling's the one that got away. But I think go on.
No, sorry, carry on.
No, because I was going to say actually, to be fair to Sterling, I think he'll still be quite prominent even with the drop of pace. Because I think he was carrying Chelsea at the start of that season, in terms of the goals are only really coming from him. So I do think his contribution. I think his contribution is still going to be more significant than Aubameyang. But again, I said Aubameyang is dead to me, so maybe I'm just hating. So that's fine. But but I think Sterling will still continue to contribute, especially depending on how far they go in terms of the Champions League as well. That'll be telling as well. But yeah, we shall see.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm guessing there was probably very serious talks about Arsenal, but I guess it was either Sterling or Jesus. And in terms of what Arsenal needed, Sterling, you've got Saka, you've got Smith Rowe, you've got Martinelli, very similar players, and you didn't really have that out and out striker. So it was either one or the other.
Yeah. And I'm very glad Jesus came to us. Let me not lie. Right, on to the next game. So we've got Tottenham 2, Everton 0. Do you know what? Tottenham are really annoying because do you know what? They're just kind of, I mean, and I'm saying this from not just being an Arsenal fan, but they just keep creeping up with these wins, and I feel like they're the mini silent assassins in the league. No one's really. I mean, I say no one's really watching them. Song is having an amazing season. He's been amazing, but there's not been any outstanding performances from Tottenham so far. I don't know if you'd agree or disagree, but they're creeping in there. And then after you turn around at the end of the season and they're they're kicking you out of a Champions League spot. That's how I feel about Tottenham at the moment. But Conte's, he's getting the results. So fair play to him, I say.
And literally that's what Conte does. It's very, what you see is what you get. It's not about one player. It's all about the team. And they kind of set up in a way where they're going to be hard to beat. And yeah, when Song is on fire, when Kane, when who else? I mean, they've got Holberg's scoring bangers now.
Yeah.
And, again, Tottenham are a very, very dangerous team, and they could be anyone on their day.
Yeah, that's true, and I think that's why I find them so annoying, because literally you don't know, you just don't know what you're going to get. Like, obviously we beat them in the London Derby, but the North London Derby, but ultimately they're still they're kind of like they've put that aside and they're still chipping away at other teams those points. They're picking up those points, so fair play to them actually. And like I know, I mean Conte, I mean that's the thing with Conte, right? In terms of like what his style of play. And actually, to be fair, I actually don't mind watching Tottenham under Conte. Like they don't look as defensive as I thought they might be. They're still like they've got that attacking prowess. Kane, for me, I'm not sure if he's. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's dropping off slightly. I don't know. I don't know if Kane and Son could be on peak form at the same time. I'm still trying, because when I say that, I mean like goal ratio, essentially. I don't know. That's a personal thing. I just don't know whether, because Song obviously is shining at the moment, right? And actually, when Kane's on fire, like I don't know, it just doesn't. For me, I could never see them both on top form at the same time in terms of goal ratio.
I think one of them has to be the backup dancer to the other person being the lead singer, and like we've like seen it throughout the years. You know, that Song and Kane partnership. Like Kane was taking all of the limelight because Song would always feed him and whatnot. Yeah. And now it's the roles are reversed now, where now literally, Kane is now singing harmony and literally Song is now singing lead. But I mean, again, you would still want them in your team. They are match, they are match winners, and actually they are proven as well. They are proven in this league. Yes, they've not won anything in how many years?
We forget ever. I'm joking.
You know what? That's so such a dig. But no, and again, I think under Conte they have a great opportunity. It's like it looks like he has the backing of the board. And I can see them going pretty far in a cup competition. Do I see them winning the league? No. Do I see them getting in the top four? In the top four? Yes.
Okay, fair. I mean, you say that. I love how you say that you see them get a top four and not Liverpool. Imagine, shame on you. Shame on you. But Everton, Lampard. What are we saying? I mean, I feel like he's hanging on, but I mean, Lampard or Gerrard, who's going to go first?
Gerrard's going to go first.
Really?
Yeah. If Lampard had a awful second half to the season last season.
Yeah.
And if anything, they would have changed the manager after the season, and they said, we're going to give you more money and do what you've got to do. Aston Villa gave Gerrard money and they started well, but they've just, again, like their performances have just been absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like that the Villa fans have now turned on Gerrard more than the Evertonians. That's how I think.
True. No, I think you're right, actually. I think I've started to see a lot of that Aston Villa fans kind of turning on. And I suppose actually it didn't start off well with the whole Tyrone Mings situation either, right? It's when there's unrest with especially your captain, it almost sets a tone, doesn't it? In terms of like, actually some people are waiting for you to fall and they'll be like, yeah, we want you out. But you're right. I think Lampard, I don't know, to be fair, Everton aren't playing too badly, actually.
They're not playing too badly.
Yeah. They actually look, even when they lose, they look quite solid, and they're giving everyone quite a good game, right? So like, it's not as if they're like rolling over. They're actually firing back, and actually, I think I mentioned it before about like the likes of like Iwobi. I mean, we gave him to Everton, and Arsenal like to do their charity work every so often. So, like if you're seeing certain things of like certain players actually coming to fruition. So to be fair, Lampard hasn't done a bad job. I kind of agree with you. I do think Gerrard will probably go ahead of Lampard, but I don't know. It's just sad, isn't it? Because we always want to see like former great players do really well, but they're not always cut for. And Gerrard did such a good job in Scotland, and everyone was like, because he's getting his practice in. He's going to come to Anfield. Obviously, you just said that you don't want him anywhere near. Oh no, loads of Liverpool fans were like, yes, let him get his practice in. Then he'll come back and manage Liverpool when Klopp leaves. I'll find you some quotes. But you obviously said you don't want him anywhere near your club. That's fair. I think Gerrard even agreed that he can't go anywhere near Liverpool, like, which I think is fair.
It's, and again, Gerrard did an amazing job in Scotland. I'm not being disrespectful to like the Scottish League, but come on.
I'm not being disrespectful, but I am going to be.
Yeah. So and again, like the Aston Villa job, that's a huge job. And again, like they've got a huge fan base. They would probably say that they're the best team in the Midlands, but right now, hey, like they're like struggling. And again, Gerrard has to, and his team, because again, Gerrard is only the face. Like whatever happens back behind closed doors, he has to look at his team and think, what are my backroom staff? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? And I have to front it. But yeah, even though Aston Villa played well against Chelsea, I think he's gonna go. I think with Everton, they have a really strong core. I think the team still believes in what Lampard is doing. Do I think a lot of their better players will like move on, like Gordon and who else? Probably Gray, possibly, yeah. But no, I see Gerrard going 100%, and then Lampard maybe a season or two after.
Okay, a couple of seasons left in Lampard, right? Let's move on to the last. But before we move on to the last game, I just want to shout out the Leicester City and Crystal Palace game. That was the deadest game I've ever watched in my life, and especially on BT Sport where I have it on my big screen.
Wow,
I was so angry because this is a side chat, but it had such good billings that that game. But then I don't know, it was quite sad to see. I was a bit like, I don't know what happened. Like Zaha wasn't really didn't really show up. Like Vardy came on. Do you know what? I think actually the saddest thing of that game was like actually seeing that Vardy is
he's done.
He's gone.
Yeah.
You're talking about a yard of my guy's still there to breathe. He's still there. He's still getting paid. Don't try and write him off yet. I feel like after this season, he's going to retire. Do you not think he has to? Surely.
I don't know when his contract's up, but he's gonna make sure that he's gonna go on a free agent. I don't think he's gonna retire. I think he loves that Leicester money. But
yeah, to be fair, I'd stay. If
I'm saying,
minutes, yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean? Hey, again, yeah, Vardy. That the same thing. Like everyone knew exactly what Leicester were about in their prime. Ball over, like a direct ball over the top. Let like Vardy run onto it, and hey, like anything can happen. And now like he can't do that anymore. So he's now got to reinvent his game. But do let Leicester have the time to do that? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Maddison's gonna go anytime soon. Is it Tillemans is gonna go as well?
Yeah.
So it's not looking great for Leicester.
Unless I add Brandon Rodgers as well to the mix, is he gonna go? Like, I don't know. It is mental, but yeah, I was just so disappointed in that game. I was building up. I was like, actually, to be fair, this could be quite a good little battle, but it was just dead. I was like, and actually, I think, like, as I said, the saddest thing was Vardy, like just knowing that actually he is gone, as you said, he's actually gone. Imagine, but it happens to the best of us. Let's not lie. So I was retired off football a long time ago. But the last game to discuss is Man United 0, Newcastle 0. I mean,
I'll let you go first.
Man United are boring anyway. No one cares about them. I'm joking. Let me stop my head. But, it was a fair result for Newcastle. Do you know what? For me, that's showing that Newcastle are slowly building quite a strong squad. They're managing to hold a few games, and actually to hold Man United, obviously there was a goal disallowed, fair enough. But do you know what? They're getting those points slowly. Because normally Newcastle are always that team that's like scrambling at the end for like relegation, whether they're in or out. But I think slowly they're actually like, comfortable like mid-table now, and actually could probably. I think they'll probably spend big in Jan, and actually do all right. But Man United, I mean, I do take great pleasure in them struggling. I'm not gonna lie, like I just enjoy it so much. But I don't know what's going on. If I'm being totally honest. Is it Ten Hag not realizing what formation? Is he trying to figure out the team? Because look at Potter. My guy got thrown into like the Champions League, and he still ground that win. So Ten Hag, he knew he was getting a job for a long time. I don't know. I just don't know what the issue is.
I think, and again, I don't care about either team, and honestly, I also take pleasure United in this, in this kind of cauldron of nothingness. I absolutely love it
because it's not even a transitional phase at the moment. It is nothingness.
It's just honestly, yeah,
it's just dead.
It's dead. There's just nothing there. But I mean, what I remember what Mourinho said when he left. He's like, getting United to finish second was my best achievement. That's what he said. And Lechef was like, huh? He said, getting United to finish runners up was my best achievement in football.
Yeah, because now, did you see that team? And he managed to get them there.
And literally, I think the club's been I don't want to say rotten, but there's been a lot of things been going on behind the scenes that need to be ironed out. And if Ten Hag has got a long-term contract, and literally if they believe in him, this is his first season. It's going to take him. Like he's got Anthony that looks like a live wire, and he's got a lot of potential. Who else have they got? Rashford looks like of the Rashford of old. He's looking.
That's probably the biggest positive thing, right, to come from the Man United squad at the moment is Rashford's looking all right. Actually, he's slowly coming back into form. I mean, De Gea as well to some extent as well. I mean, his recent form was last season essentially, but again, like there's a few players have like been revived, which is probably that. But I mean, that's quite sad that Man United. That's the positives we can take from the squad currently.
Exactly.
Exactly. Glory Man United days have gone, innit? But I'm such a hater. But it's true, and I think you mentioned obviously there's a lot of things going behind the scenes. What do you think is the biggest thing they need to tackle?
That's a good question.
Thanks very much.
Oh gosh. Looking. And again, I'm looking at a 50,000 bird's eye view. So I'm saying probably getting down their age and probably working with a midfield trio that are young, energetic, and have the footballing ability. Casemiro is amazing, but he's 30-31.
Yeah.
Fred is decent. But again, he's not really.
Is he decent?
No, but he's decent for Brazil though. He plays in a different, he plays a different way and a different style.
Yeah. Okay. Forget about the internationals, but I just see Fred at Man United, and it's just, I mean, it's a laughing stock. But no, that's fair. That's fair. Go on.
Yeah, do I believe that they will return with a bang? Probably in the next half decade, I think. If United are prepared to spend the money and if they believe in the manager at the time, whoever it is.
I don't think Ten Hag's going to be around for the long haul.
When you say long haul, what, as in over three seasons? Because I don't know what long haul means now in football.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's in a long haul now. Klopp, Klopp's been around for some time.
Klopp's 7 years.
Yeah,
7 years.
That's long haul nowadays. To be fair,
that is long haul. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. But again, it's all about trying to manage the expectations of the fans and the board.
And Alex Ferguson. Let's not lie. They need to keep him happy too.
100%. So, So, what do you think about Newcastle? Do you think Newcastle are going to be the next team that's going to be challenging for the top four, challenging Man City?
I mean, with the money that they've got in that club now, they can't not be. I mean, I say we can't ignore them, right? I mean, I don't know how quickly there will be a Man City because, I mean, selling players to come and play for Newcastle. And have you been to Newcastle?
I've been to Newcastle a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly. It's very great. That's a hard sell, but you can't ignore them. They've got the budget, right? I think it just depends on. I think we'll be able to tell the future of Newcastle depending on where they finish this season, and then who they buy for next season, and that's a telling point. I think where they finish will actually determine who they then go and buy. and then actually to see if they will challenge. Because obviously, to be fair, let's not lie. Back in the day, Newcastle were challengers, right? And I think in this game, you need money. That's been very evident, and that's been very clear for all clubs. Like that's how Man City's become the club that they are. And I do think Newcastle have the potential to become that, but it depends on how they do this season. Personally, what do you think?
No, I totally agree. Totally agree. I think Eddie Howe is doing an amazing job, and I do think that they will spend in January. I don't know how heavy they will spend, but I still think that they're going to go with. Well, they've not really bought Premiership experience. They've literally got like the best, I'd say tier B players that know that they can turn into tier A players.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it all depends on where they finish and how much the board will trust Eddie Howe with their billions.
Their billions, exactly.
I feel
like they need to see what he does firsthand this season before they release that cash money. But just to finish on one of my favorite topics, Ronaldo. I mean, because I heard today he came 20th in the Ballon d'Or.
I heard,
list.
Yes.
Do you know what? When I heard that, do you know what? Even as an Arsenal fan, my heart broke a little bit for that. I was just like, that
really?
is, yeah, just because, do you know what? Because I think, do you know, I've always been a Ronaldo fan, regardless of what team I supported. I just think how things are at Man United, I just think it's slow. His career isn't ending the way I think it probably should do, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, he's getting subbed on. He's not really playing that many minutes. I just think personally, if I was him, I'd just go to the States, play as many minutes as you want to play. I just think end on a high. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like it's now starting to be like a sad story of Ronaldo. I mean, it'll never take away from like obviously 700 goals, all his stats, all his his accolades. But I just think how things are at Man United, I just think it's just not fitting. I don't think for his career personally.
That's a fair point. I think there was a slight dig there at the MLS. We said he can go to the States and play as many games or as many minutes as you want. That is such a subliminal dig at the league. You
cuss the Scottish league. I'm cussing the American one. Why not? Let's keep it going.
Yeah. No, but I totally understand. It's will we ever see I think we will see another Ronaldo, but we don't know when in like whatever generation, and he deserves a really good send-off. He's a professional on and off the pitch. Yes, he's had a few misdemeanors. Yes, also as well, he's kind of opened up regarding his kind of family life and kind of losing children, which of course, it kind of resonates that, it kind of resonates. So, it's, I can imagine it like being had, but also as well, he's kind of come back to the club that I'd say made him. So even if he like retires now, I don't think there'll be any issues because, again, like he came on against Everton, he scored the winning goal. I thought he was playing well against Newcastle, got substituted, and again, like even with his body language, he wants to be on. Like he's not taking a paycheck just to, what I'm saying, like he's not just taking the money and just sitting down. No, I would like to see him another season or two, and then you know what? I guess the world is his oyster. Yeah.
He can go to the States and play as many games, get paid that money.
Oh wow!
Be like an amazing celebrity for them. To be fair, he will actually
wow.
No, but let's think about it. He'll increase the popularity of the sport. I'm thinking about Americanness. I want them to be able to be like taken seriously, especially in the men's league, because obviously the women are actually amazing. But I'm there to help other continents. Why not? But no, thank you so much for joining, Tabriz. And obviously we missed Joe and Billy tonight, but hopefully they'll be back next week. Thanks everyone who tuned in as well, but see you next week. Bye.